Hey, business building warrior, it's your buddy Jim, and we've got another episode today where I have a guest on the camera with me. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see that happening, or just listen. There's no visuals today that require you to jump over to YouTube if you're not there already. But as always, if you're not subscribed to our free announcements, every time we have a new episode, we send out a little blast to your smartphone and let you know, hey, there's a new episode. You can go to silentjim.com/updates. And you will get a free software download called Telegram. Lots of people are using that for all kinds of other things. It's a cool app. But one of the things you can do is get on our notification list. The instructions are on that page. Love for you to do that. Hey, today we're going to talk about how to use Pinterest to drive a bunch of traffic to just about any offer you want to drive traffic to. I don't care if it's Amazon. I don't care if it's boring products on Amazon that you only have a few of. You can use Pinterest to drive significant traffic to any offer, any website, any blog, anywhere that you'd like to have more traffic. Now, we don't talk about driving traffic a whole lot on this show. The books I've written and the content I've created over the past 20 years, typically when I start talking about driving traffic or SEO, search engine optimization, I get bored real fast. I'm way more excited about just building cool stuff and then people will find you. You don't have to get in the weeds of all this SEO stuff. But there's something really cool happening on Pinterest. One of the leaders in our community, she's created some content for us. She has actually done a full course. Our wholesale course is done by Teresa Rose. It's part of the Proven Amazon course. But she's been playing on Pinterest for a few years now. She's accumulated quite a booking of clients who rely on her. She's promoted a lot of her own stuff. And she's got it really drilled down to a process now where using a free website, not spending any money on any tools or software. You're not pouring any money into paid ads. You're just pinning pictures strategically using the keywords that she teaches you how to find and driving massive traffic to whatever offer you'd like to drive traffic to. It's that simple. She's got it dialed in, and we're going to talk about it today with her. Now, there is a course that she's come out with, and it's unique in the industry. There's nothing else like this out there that I've seen. It's based on what she's been doing the past few years with a high degree of success. And to repeat, again, if you're an Amazon seller, you need to know this because you can be sending traffic to your listings on Amazon and selling more of what you sell without spending any money on new tools or software. If you're a private label seller, great for you too. You've got your own product, website, like I said. But I'm very excited today because we dive into the question of, hey, what if I'm selling boring products on Amazon? Will this work? Short answer is yes. Well, what if I've only got a few of it to sell? Will this work? The answer is yes. You can even start generating new income from the affiliate clicks that you get, meaning you're sending people not just to your own stuff, but to other stuff on Amazon and getting paid. All kinds of fun, interesting ways to start making some money without spending any money on tools. And Teresa's going to dive into it so much today that you can start doing it on your own. You don't need the course, but I think you're going to love the course. Once you get to know Teresa, you're going to know she really knows her stuff. She's been doing this a while. If you want to check out the course, by the way, before I grab Teresa and get her on here, you can go to provenamazoncourse.com/Pinterest. provenamazoncourse.com/Pinterest. I'll stick that link and all the other links in today's show notes at silentjim.com/podcast. Just go to today's episode. If you're on YouTube, look below the video for the notes. If you're listening, go to silentjim.com, find today's episode. All the links are there that you'll need for everything that Teresa and I talk about. I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. It's a little different, but it's some powerful stuff from a website that odds are you're not using a whole lot. And if you are, you're probably not using it as a marketing tool yet. But one of the things Teresa says before I go grab her that I thought was really awesome is for a lot of her clients and for a lot of her projects, the number 2 source of traffic is Pinterest. So she sees Google as number 1, Pinterest is number 2, and then you get into YouTube and Facebook and whatever else is going on to drive traffic. Pinterest is a powerful traffic engine, and we're going to learn how to tap into it today. So let's welcome onto the show, Teresa Rose. So Teresa, welcome back to the show.
Hello, it's great to be back.
Good to see you. And you've been doing some fun stuff with Pinterest, driving a lot of traffic to a lot of different places, having some really big clients pay you some good money to do some pretty exciting things. And I got to say, I don't think we've ever really talked about Pinterest on this show. So Why should we care? And what are you doing with Pinterest? Just tell us your story.
Okay. Well, this journey started quite a while ago. Back when I was noticing traffic from my very early days of just creating a website, writing, doing a lot of my own teaching there. And the traffic that was coming in, I was very, very focused on Google, bringing that traffic in, which was working very, very well. And then all of a sudden, I noticed in the analytics that there was something called Pinterest. And I had no account on Pinterest. I had no idea how that was even possible. So I started to investigate it. And apparently, all of these people that were visiting were pinning out images and pinning out stuff from that website. So then I thought, well, this is interesting because there's a lot of traffic coming in. And I need to figure out what this thing is called Pinterest. And so, like everybody, I thought it was a social media site. And what I learned, what is not a social media site, it's a search engine. So then I really got interested because I thought, well, this is kind of like Google, except it's all visual. So it's very, very similar in that concept. So from that point, then I really took a deep dive into learning everything that I could. And then I began practicing a lot of things and then moved into a lot of testing and experimenting to really, really refine even deeper of what are the possibilities and what are the results that I can get from that. So that's been over a period of the last probably four or 5 years or so that I've been doing that kind of without anyone knowing about it, just in my own experimentations that I'm doing all the time. I started to do that and then really begin to refine it well. And then once I started to talk about it publicly, which you have to be careful when you do that, and people started asking questions. So they started asking questions, and then that's when one thing led to another. And people said, well, can you work in my account? Can you work in my account? Can you do this for my brand? And then started, whether I wanted to or not, started to do that. I thought, well, this will be fascinating because I could really see what works behind multiple different types of products, brands, all kinds of stuff. And there wasn't anything that was being talked about for how to use Pinterest for e-commerce. It was mostly the focus on every single course, anything that I've taken or read is all for just bloggers, and that's it. And it's a little bit different when we move into e-commerce. And I've kind of had to pave the way, if you will, in that because there's still just about nothing out there on that. And you really have to do things slightly different because we are talking about products. We're not
Right.
talking about content. So it's different from content marketing.
Well, let's give some big picture perspective because I'm not all that familiar with Pinterest. I haven't done a whole lot with it. My wife had a board and she filled it up, and I took a shot at it a few years ago and put, I've always wanted to see all the big waterfalls of the world, and I just started pinning cool pictures of waterfalls and city landscapes, cityscapes at night. I love cityscapes, so I've got a board that has those favorite pictures on it. I've never really done anything else with it. I play with it for a few minutes just to figure it out. But put in perspective for me, how big of a search engine is Pinterest? How much traffic is it driving? Because there's a lot of places. I mean, there's people we could bring on the show that say, hey, YouTube's where it at. If you're not on YouTube driving traffic to whatever you're doing, you're crazy. Or, Facebook or whatever, fill in the blank. And you're over here on Pinterest, killing it. Why Pinterest as compared to all the other platforms? What is it that makes it different and special?
Completely visual. And people in general appreciate the visual. So you're going to notice, and you probably have been noticing that a lot of marketing now that's really effective is more visual.
Sure.
So that's why people, even in e-commerce, different brands, they're doing well on Instagram because it's completely visual.
Yeah.
And they do well on YouTube because it's completely visual.
So why Pinterest as compared to, and I'm not saying you're saying, hey, throw everything else out. Pinterest is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But you have spent a significant amount of time on this platform. Is there, help us get some perspective on, what am I missing if I ignore Pinterest? How much traffic is there? Like, what do you give me maybe a story of a typical result that you get when you focus in on a particular item that you're trying to sell
Mm-hmm.
more of on Pinterest. What kind of traffic do you end up generating?
So the traffic I see when I am working in different accounts, if I'm looking in Google Analytics, Google is number one for traffic. Number two is Pinterest. That's if
Above Instagram, YouTube.
above all of those, far above Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, even all of that. I'm always seeing Pinterest as number two if it's being worked on actively
Mm-hmm.
and very, very intentionally.
Gotcha.
Of knowing how to do that. So that's what I see in all of the accounts going on. In fact, in one account for a large brand, their Pinterest traffic right now is almost equal the amount of their Google traffic, which is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah, that
there's
helps us with some perspective. This isn't just a little tack on, add on. Maybe someday you should take a look at Pinterest. I think maybe the reason, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just me kind of taking a stab in the dark here, but like on YouTube, it's a bit of a dogfight. Like I want to be the best content producer on topic X on YouTube. Well, there's already 500 people there and 30 of them have a 5-year head start. So good luck. But on Pinterest, if you go in and you've got some niche product you're trying to promote or sell, maybe 20 of your Amazon products that you're trying to sell, and you just have a few of them even, you can make a pretty good dent. Now, I'm not going to say fast because I want to be fair. There's a process here, but you can get some pretty predictable traffic rolling with a pretty predictable set of steps. And it really doesn't matter who else is already there and who else is maybe already talking about it. The opportunity there's a lot more low hanging fruit. That's the impression I'm getting from the stories I've heard you tell over the last couple of years as you've been doing this.
Yeah, so you can do all of this organically. In fact, you need to do it organically because if you try and go to ads first, which is what everybody asked me, you got to remember it's a search engine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a search engine. Ads cannot be turned on until you have your keyword work done. All of your keyword work and maxing out as much as you can, SEO has to be in place, or else you're going to pay a lot of money in ads that you don't have to do. And then you may get to a point where you realize, well, I don't think I even need to use ads.
Yeah.
Why?
Organic is even more effective. The ads, paid ads can't keep up with the organic results.
Mm-hmm.
So you just focus on the organic. You're even doing that, what you were sharing in a conversation earlier before we hit the record button for one of your larger clients. You keep talking them out of doing paid ads because organic is just so expansive and explosive. You're like, hey, you guys shouldn't be paying any money for paid ads.
Yeah.
So let's just keep creating these pins and focusing on those interesting keywords that we're discovering as we create these pins. And I want to tie this, Teresa, one of the things I want to accomplish here, one, we've got the Pinterest Traffic Bootcamp, which there'll be a link in the show notes at silentjim.com to that. So you can jump in and spend some time with Teresa diving into this deeper, driving traffic to just about anything, a blog, a website, your Amazon Replan business. Maybe you got a private label product. Even if you're an inch deep, mile wide, you can drive traffic to any given product that you're trying to sell more of using Pinterest. And we're not talking paid ads. It's a basic skill set that Teresa wants to teach you. But I want to get into a little bit like, who is this for? I just kind of summarized it real quick, but is there anyone who can't use this? This is a skill set that's kind of so new and foreign. I'm a little worried that some of the right people who should be grabbing on this will say, oh, that's Pinterest. That's where ladies hang out and post pictures of their kittens. And I don't get it. And why would I want to go do that? Talk me into paying attention to Pinterest, if you would.
Yeah. So the platform has been growing very, very rapidly. When I had first started, I think it was only about 250 million users a month, and now it's well over 400 million users a month. So it's growing very fast, very rapidly. And with every visual pin that you see, there's a link. So when you click on it, it will take you off-site somewhere else. So when we use it for the purpose of business, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get people interested in what you have to offer and get them to be so interested that they want to find out more or they want to see more details. So they go off-site to wherever you want to take them to. It doesn't matter what that location is. And at that point, then you're able to grab that person. And if they're truly interested, they'll add it to their shopping bag. Hopefully they'll check out, that kind of thing. So that's what you're looking to do ultimately. But all of that is dependent upon how well you go and try to find these people who are going to be highly interested. And some people do that through ads. That's great. But there's another skill set that I think is even more important than ads, because ads, when you flip the switch on, the traffic pours in, you get some sales, but as soon as you flip that switch off, it's all done for. Zero traffic, zero sales. And when you're out of money, you're just out. Okay. This is something that it carries on for years. These pins, they live for years, for a long, long time. It's not an on and off switch. In fact, when you flip the switch on, it keeps going whether you want it to or not.
Right.
That's what search engines do. And you can always refine things as there's algorithm changes that happen. You just keep refining, and you just make some small adjustments as you go. So it's not an issue. It's a lot easier to go and wade through those algorithm changes than what most people think. We just went through 6 of them last year. It was an incredible amount of algorithm changes last year. And I was getting through all of them and still getting the traffic up and still getting the revenue up through that many of them in just a 1 year period of time, which is not normal on any search engine. So by doing that, you are able to target the right person through the keywords that you choose through your research. You're going out and you're finding these people who are going to be interested in what you have to offer, what your product is about. So that's really, really important that you go and you grab those people. So Amazon does this. They have really good SEO. Their SEO is top notch, and I always study it all the time. And then I leverage it in different ways. And I'll show everybody how you can grab those keywords right off of Amazon and leverage that. And you can turn that into your boards or even hierarchy of boards that you create, and take that information and pop that right over into your structure for your strategy. Use that as a strategy that you borrow from a search engine that does really well.
And
then
just
we're
so
also
listeners know too, you're no stranger to Amazon. You actually have created a lot of our Amazon content for us. The wholesale course, for example, that we have right now, and you've done some incredible contributions, and you've had success on Amazon. But you're using Pinterest not just to drive Amazon traffic. It's a little bit different strategy you were sharing with me. Let's say you're trying to send traffic to a blog versus to eBay versus to Amazon versus to your own Shopify site. Slightly different strategies. And that's some of what you get into in the boot camp.
Yes.
Is where are you trying to send traffic? Okay, here's what strategy works with this. You've really got it dialed in. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So what you do for other areas is it's okay, but you got to change it up when you are talking about your products on Amazon. And your keyword targeting has really got to be about that product. But there's a lot that may not exist on the Amazon product page that you can do outside of that's in your control. So there may be some things that are out of your control on the product pages on Amazon, but there's a lot that's in your control outside of that. That's what you need to focus on. And by doing that, you're going out and grabbing more people who are highly interested and finding some keyword areas that probably Amazon has overlooked, or whoever created the product page is not there, it doesn't exist. That's what I do. I go and I find all of those hidden gems and I fill in the gaps. And you can bring those people in that you wouldn't be able to bring in otherwise. In other words, you can surpass all limitations. And I'm a no limits person. If I see limits, I'm going to figure out how I can get around that, bust through it.
Yeah, I can attest to that. You are a problem solving expert with a teacher's heart who's had a lot of success. You've got some serious clients that you're working with now, and you've worked with a lot of our students as well. I want to ask you a couple specific questions, keeping in mind that the vast majority of listeners to this show are Amazon sellers, and a lot of them are people who are selling a little of this, a little of that. They're using our very successful Replan strategy. So if I put up a picture of one of the items that I'm selling, a couple questions come to mind. What if it's a boring product? Can I drive traffic to a boring product? And what if I'm not the only seller on Amazon? What if I'm one of 20 sellers? can I still use this strategy?
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what kind of product you have. There's a lot of boring products. It doesn't need to be a fancy product. It doesn't even need to be a women's specific product. One of my clients is all mostly men's products. And guess what? The women are the ones that buy for their men.
That's very true.
So now you have to
Pinterest is
think,
what you said, 70% female users?
it's like about 80% women is what is coming through statistics. But once I start targeting things in a way where sometimes it can be targeted for men, sometimes it can be targeted for the women to buy for the men. So you got to get creative and do your research and your targeting. And I see a lot more men on the platform than what is talked about. And I think it's because there's been the stigma attached to it. But there's a lot of men who also use it because they are saving the things that they're interested in. And they are interested in products just the same as what women are.
Yeah.
So you'll start to find these people who begin saving the stuff, and you'll see who is coming in. Is it more men? Is it more women? Of who is truly interested. They might save it to share with their women so that they can go buy that for them for their birthday or holiday or whatever, as an easy way to share.
But
some
product is fair game. I mean, when I say boring, let's go one step further. Let's go super boring. Like, I don't know, a box of screws.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
Can Pinterest work for that super boring product that I have no emotional attachment to whatsoever? I just happen to have 60 of them, and I'm trying to sell them on Amazon, and there's 6 other people selling the same thing. Can I get an advantage with Pinterest?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So your keywords is target thinking about who it is that would want this. Who is it? And what problems does this solve? So with a box of screws, that's so boring and general of a product that there's probably 50 different ways, if not more, that could solve problems for people. So it could be, and you could target for both men and women. So the screws, what are they best used for? You need to do your research. And then you can show through your pins all the different ways that this one box of screws can be used. And when people continually see this, they say, wow, that must be the ultimate box of screws to buy. That has to be it, because I'm seeing all these 50 different ways that I can use this one box of screws. So that's a no-brainer. I'm going to add it to my shopping cart and buy it.
If it's a product that you're committed to, now, if it's something that you bought one of at a yard sale, you may not want to do a Pinterest. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Tracy, but I'm just thinking this through out loud. I've only got one of these. I'm hoping to make 30 or 40 bucks if and when I sell it. May or may not be. I mean, now you can throw it on a general Pinterest board and you might drive some traffic, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time building up an SEO keyword-based strategy for that one sale. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't this be better if I'm focusing on the stuff that I'm trying to sell multiple of the same item? That's where I want to spend most of my time and energy. Is that true?
I think, yes. In the long run, if you are trying to leverage your time, you'd want to spend more of your time on your repeat products, the products that you can sell over and over and over again, where you don't have as many limitations as just a one-time sale. But if you're wanting to learn the skill set, it's not going to hurt you to practice it, create one pin for that product. Why? Because it's challenging you to think about that product and to ask yourself the questions of who would want it, what are the problems that it would solve for people, and why should they buy it? Mm-hmm. So it's practicing that skill set by looking at that. And you can just create one pin just to challenge yourself and then move on.
Yeah. And I'm thinking you can look at Amazon. People who bought this also bought this. Get some ideas there. Right. Mm-hmm. You can get some ideas from the reviews that people leave on that product. Because we teach people to have zero emotional attachment to the products they sell, especially new sellers. Just find stuff that you find ways to turn $5 bills into $20 bills. We don't care what the product is. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not emotionally invested enough in these to do the research and find out who would need it, Amazon will give you plenty of clues. People who bought that box of screws also bought these items. Pin those items too. Use an affiliate link. Are you allowed to do this? Use an affiliate link on Pinterest to send traffic to an Amazon listing that someone else has.
Yes. According to the Amazon Associates program in the United States, it's not true in other countries, but the United States program of the Amazon Associates, which is Amazon affiliate program, you cannot use Pinterest with direct links using an Amazon affiliate link in the pin. That's not allowed. It can shut down your Amazon affiliate account, which you don't want to do. You don't want to lose that.
Right.
So in that situation, you can still benefit by creating a blog post and put your affiliate links in there. It's
Right.
also much safer in case something should happen and your links become broken or your pins disappear or something. It's going to be much safer to do it that way.
Just create a free WordPress site and run your links through that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
great tip.
There's so many things.
I'm just throwing all these little curveballs at you and you're just like, no problem.
Oh, it's simple. It's easy. I've already thought through all of these things of solving problems, but there's so many things out there now where there are programs where you don't need to know coding. I remember back when I first started, I was trying to copy and paste HTML coding and trying to figure it out,
Yeah. You don't need to be a coder to do any of the stuff we're talking about.
You don't have to do that. There are now so many programs out there where you can, within 5 to 10 minutes, create a product page from scratch and put your affiliate link in it.
Right.
Drive your traffic to that. Then when they are interested, they'll click on your link, go to Amazon, and guess what? You can double dip on the sale. You can get income from being an affiliate. And then if it's your product and it sells, well, then you get more income in your pocket. So now you've just created multiple streams of income for yourself. We're just taking 10 minutes to create some kind of a little page or a blog post or something, even whatever it is that you want to use that is in your possession, and it has to be open. It's got to be open. So it cannot be enclosed material like in your email list. You can't use, Amazon affiliate links. You can't put them into ebooks. It's got to be open. So it'd be a website, pages, posts. There's quick little pages now that you can put up that take no time and effort, that you can, purchase the program and be able to do that very, very quickly. And you can
what's
start
your program
building
of choice for that? WordPress is what pops into my head, but I know there's things even friendlier to that now. I haven't built a website in a long time. My team does it for me.
Yeah. Ultimately, you want a WordPress site. And then you can do page builders. I use page builders now. I think that's fabulous. I remember when there was no such thing as a page builder, and now we have page builders. It's like, you're kidding me.
So easy. It's so easy. It's not a new tech skill. Something else just popped in my head too, Teresa, which I'm sure you're already 5 miles ahead of me on this, but let's go back to our box of screws. I bought 30 of them. I set up a Pinterest pin. I'm sending traffic straight from this box of screws pin to my listing. And I'm going to talk about how you get to your listing and don't basically advertise for all your competitors. You've thought through that, I'm hoping. And now let's say I've sold through all of them. So I'm just pointing traffic basically to the other people who still sell that. Well, flip it to a affiliate link, send it through your blog. All that momentum you've got, all the interest you've got on that, single moms, do it yourself, the stuff you're going to need around the house, themed page. I'm just pulling this out of thin air, but right. So you've got this page and you're starting to gather these things there. Can you do that? Can you flip it to an affiliate link once you're kind of burned through your own inventory? Can you change the link?
Mm-hmm. If it's on your website, yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. I would start with an affiliate link to begin with.
Right. Just start with one.
Yeah. You don't have to wait until, my inventory is out. I never plan to sell these products ever again. It's any time that you want to, you can do that. Yeah.
That's a great point. See, once again, your head, just start with an affiliate link and send people to it. Now, what about the question of there's multiple sellers?
Okay. 2 thoughts to that I've had. One of them, you can go into your little storefront on Amazon, find the product there within your storefront, and then use that link directly inside of your Pinterest pins. Now, you can test it because sometimes that link, depending on what happens with Amazon, it may end up not going to, not just showing you only in the buy box. So you do need to click on it and test it to see what's going on. You may have to do that periodically. So it's possible that that could shift or change for whatever reason. But if it does, it's still not an issue, because here's my next thought strategy was, so what if it sells out my competitors? I'm next in line.
Yeah.
Just keep my
good.
pricing towards the buy box and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So
Especially with Replan sellers, because we're looking at, hey, this item I expect to sell between 5 and 15 a month. You put a little Pinterest push behind that, and now you're selling more than that. You might help a couple of your competitors too, but yeah, you're next. You're driving more traffic to a listing that you're selling on. So who cares if a couple competitors benefit too while you're selling more of your product?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Ultimately, by helping them, you're helping yourself, because they might sell out a little faster than they expected, and realize that, gee, maybe my price was too low.
That's right.
Maybe I better drive my price up a little higher because there's higher demand, right? So every time that there's more demand, you need to get your price up.
That's right.
Because you've got more demand going, higher price going. That's you got to go back to the basics of economics with that.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, it's a supply and demand. So if you see there's higher demand, then of course an Amazon seller need to be doing this. They need to get their price up as they see the demand go higher.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table. So you've always got to watch that and keep that in your pricing and your repricing strategy. But with that being said, it can force maybe the prices to go up because there's more demand. There's higher traffic coming through, and I don't mind if I have a competitor sell out. I've actually done some of those strategies where I've watched to see, how many do they have on hand? What can I do here to push a little traffic coming in to see if they can't go out of, they might be able to go out of stock a little bit sooner, and then I move in. I'm able to move in with my price up. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You see, you got to get your price up with the strategy of, I'll wait and hold a little bit longer, but I may not have to wait and hold too much longer because I'm going to purposely put some traffic over there. And then those competitors will learn a lesson of, maybe my price is too low.
Right.
Because things have changed. So there's things that you can always do that's in your control.
But you're controlling that traffic lever is the thing.
Yes.
And that is a powerful place to be. And we don't talk about it a whole lot on this show. I don't often talk about SEO and driving traffic. And I've actually been kind of negative on those topics over the years because so many people teaching these things, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. You can't measure it, and you got to pay a whole bunch of money to an expert before you can start to apply it. But what strikes me about what you've been, and we've been talking about this for years. You're 5-6 years into this, playing on Pinterest and figuring it out. And I consider you the foremost expert, certainly in our community, of tens of thousands on this topic. But this catches my attention because of how predictable and stable it is. And maybe we should go there next, Teresa. Just share with me a couple stories without giving away any information, obviously, that you're not supposed to give away, but some of the clients, some of the products, what you did, what did you pin, and what happened next, and how long did it take? Just take us through a couple like almost mini case studies, if you would, on to help us paint a picture here.
Sure. So you have to be careful by going into some of the vanity metrics. So there's a lot of vanity metrics that people get caught up on. They get caught up on, especially if you go into Pinterest analytics. Unfortunately, they are not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to be shown there, especially right now, because of all the algorithm changes that have happened, it's going to show everybody low impressions. But when I go and I look at the actual traffic coming through that's being revealed to me in Google Analytics, I know that it's working. And then I see the add to carts, I know it's working. Then I see the revenue and the transactions, I definitely know that it's working. Proven, right? So there's a phase, a level that you want to get through. And that first phase is what we're going to work on in the boot camp, which is the traffic level. You got to get the traffic up first and start targeting through multiple different ways your audience and positioning the product. Those are the two ways of keyword targeting that I mainly focus on: is who is it that wants this? And then how can I position this product in front of those people well, so that they will run into it. They just keep bumping into your products everywhere. They can't help but run into you. So therefore they're going to take action on it at some point, right? So, and then they just do it on their own naturally while they're searching. So, with that being said, once you get your traffic up, then you'll start seeing, and this is, you're not going to see this in your Google Analytics through Amazon because you cannot connect those two things together. But for my clients that have their own stores, they've got their own stores, there could be Shopify stores, and maybe something, higher level than even that is
where they control the shopping cart experience.
Yes.
The reason we can't track this with Amazon is because Amazon won't let us put a tracking pixel in the shopping cart when customers are buying things. All we know is our sales went up when we started playing on Pinterest. And it's kind of hard to know exactly what the benefit is. But when it's costing you nothing, this is all organic SEO. There's no paid process here. This is just dragging pictures and assigning a link and putting them on a free website.
Right.
But you can track, and the analytics show you that you're getting great results, on those pages where you are able to track the shopping cart experience with a pixel and know where that customer came from. So that's where you're basing your evidence, your fact-based evidence there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the evidence that I'm seeing is what's actually happening in websites that are able to hook up directly to Google Analytics, where I can actually see how many add to carts. And I can refine that down to the exact number of add to carts from Pinterest channel only, and the exact number of revenue and transactions from Pinterest only, and that's it. So that we can really start to refine things better. Now, if that's happening through an independent store with lower domain authority than what Amazon has, then I know without seeing the numbers in front of me that there's even more add to carts and transactions happening on Amazon because they are really, really good with nailing down their page in a way to get the ultimate conversions.
Amazon's very sticky. If you can throw an affiliate link at somebody and get them to use it and jump on Amazon, some people may not realize, it doesn't matter what that person goes on to buy, you're going to get a little bit of a commission. And Amazon's sticky. It's hard to get off there. If someone's got that shopper's gene, you send them to Amazon, they're buying something. If not today, maybe tomorrow, but they're throwing a few things in the cart, and and these funds add up over time. These affiliate commissions from Amazon. So it's not just about selling more of your stuff. You can start generating some affiliate commissions too, using these strategies as well. And Amazon, like we said, it's, they're going to do everything they can to keep people there and to sell them something while they're there. Probably best at it in the world. Well, half of all transactions in North America on the internet are on Amazon. So yeah, they're doing something right.
Yeah, they know how to do conversions. They know how to get the optimal in conversions from anybody, from people. So you don't have to worry about the issue of, well, gee, I've got this product page, but it's not converting. So what do I need to do to change my product page? What do I need to do to keep tweaking that? You don't have to worry about that because Amazon's already done it for you. All you have to do is get the traffic there. And I will guarantee that the rest is happening because Amazon is so good. They are the leaders in those areas where that's all you have to do is just worry about the traffic, push the traffic there, and everything else will take care of itself. If you are building your own brand, you have your own private label products on Amazon, and maybe you're trying to compete with these other brands. If you push outside traffic into that Amazon product page, Amazon pays attention and they start looking at the keyword work and this high interest coming in from this outside traffic outside of the Amazon platform. And they start to consider that. And you might start seeing your product page ranking up higher organically because of this higher interest, that's very targeted interest. And of course, the more traffic you push in, the more add to carts, the more checkouts, the more sales that you ultimately have. So that is going to get your pages, those product pages that you're trying to create in Amazon, to rank up organically higher. And it's very possible for you to compete with other brands a lot easier because you've got some skill sets that they don't know about.
And we're a multiple income stream community too. So I want to point out something that's obvious to you and I, Teresa, but maybe an aha moment for some of the listeners. And that is, if we're talking about generating a significant amount of traffic on a free website with some free pictures that we're pinning basically on the wall, and we're starting to see those people move, not straight to Amazon, because remember, we want to use an affiliate link, which means we're going to send them through a simple blog first. And you show people how to do this. This is easy stuff. This isn't complicated. You can Google how to build a simple website and WordPress site, and you used to call it page builder, right? I mean, this is not rocket science stuff, but you've got that site up, you're sending some traffic through it. One of the things you could and should be doing, arguably, is starting to grow an audience, a community of people. Especially if you have a private label brand, build a list, build an email list. Now you've got an asset. You can have a
Yes.
sale. You can drive traffic to your own Shopify site at some point. You're multiplying, or excuse me, you're diversifying your income streams and the assets that you hold. Because I think we all dream of, it's one thing to have a private label product that's going great on Amazon. It's another thing entirely to have that same level of sales through our own website, where we don't have to pay Amazon any fees. We can email a promotion anytime we want. We can follow up with customers and give them coupon codes and all kinds of fun stuff, right? Build a community, a Facebook group around the product. There's all kinds of things that you can do. But I just want to throw that out there for those who maybe weren't connecting those dots yet. That's the kind of stuff, so when we start talking about diversifying your income streams, learning how to do Pinterest should be on your list. Learning how to do the things that Teresa's talking about today should be on your list. And I still want to hear an example. You kind of talked us through the process. You got you're prospecting for traffic. You got the traffics. You turn them into the prospects, or people who are considering, I think is the word you use, right? And then you get the conversions at the bottom of the funnel, right, which you can't track on Amazon so easy because they don't let us. But everywhere else you send them, you can track.
Yes.
Right. So, but talk me through a specific product. Like I was trying to sell this, ladies belt, or give me a specific example of what you did, how long it took to see results, what kind of money was involved in the end.
Yeah. Okay. So there's multiple different brands that I work with. One of them is a large fashion company. It's very, very tough to break into that industry because there's a lot of old school thinking and a lot of not even thinking about what is all involved when you begin to do an online business. There's things such as search engines to consider and how things are built and trying to help these people find this. So with this, what I've done is taken their products, especially the ones that people are the most interested in, and I keep positioning them in different ways using keywords that are revealed to me when I do my research. And when I do that, and I can stack them, and I can figure out how to do this to target the product correctly, to get it to basically maximize the number of people that will see it that are genuinely interested in it. So it's not just throwing it out there to everybody, but to really the people that have a genuine interest, because those are the ones that will take action. They're the ones that actually care. So then you start to see more clicks coming in. You'll start to see more of everything else happen. And then you'll start to see an increase of traffic. And the more traffic increase you have, if everything else is working well, you'll see revenue as well. So with this particular company, with 6 months of work that I've done very, very consistently after overhauling their account about a year ago, and then starting the consistent work, the revenue is up 350% in 1 year, just with 6 months of work. So I have no idea what it would be like working consistently for a year. It could be far more than that. But 350% increase in traffic and 350% increase in revenue is huge. Yeah. And anybody would take that any day.
Yeah.
So they went from making a very low dollar amount for why the CEO, and I was talking to him about this, and he was just really hesitating. And I said, I really, I think I can help you because you've got a lot of really awesome things going on here. And I think I could really position this stuff and help you to not just get more traffic, but to get them through the sales funnel process and get them into the revenue. And so we went through a lot of, these one-time things and working on stuff, and they kept seeing more traffic coming in and started to see that it stayed there. It stayed there. So then they said, well, can you please work consistently, because we're just shocked of what's happened. And they've had all kinds of employees work on this off and on for several years. And it's not done a lot as far as their revenue at all. And once I started working on it consistently, then that's when the revenue started to go up, to the point that he contacted me and said, "What are you doing? Because this traffic is really coming in quickly now, and the revenue is way up, and this is fascinating." And so now what happens is, conversing back and forth with my main contact, uh, that I work with consistently. And then she's a vice president. She takes this information over to the SEO team and says, "Oh, she's doing this over here. It seems to really be working. Can you throw up a new category page for this and start positioning, because they can benefit from that in Google organically?" And then I take that and I start taking those products, and I'm able to pin that stuff back out again. And so we create this cyclical effect, and we start snowballing.
Right.
And what's happened is their customers do far more pinning than what I do. The
Oh,
customers
nice.
are that interested that they
Yeah.
are actually doing a good portion of the marketing for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw that
And they're
right from the
showing up on
beginning.
Google better, which you've never even focused on Google SEO, but it just kind of organically, I would imagine, starts happening, right?
They all work together.
Mhm.
So by doing that, now they're able to increase their traffic organically through multiple search engines, understand their customers better, and continually reposition the products.
Mm.
So you might say, well, okay, so a shirt is a shirt. No, it's not. There's a lot of different things you can do with a shirt to get it in front of the right people who are going to be interested in that particular shirt.
Mhm.
So it's, you might think, well, a shirt is boring. No, not really. You can make it interesting.
Yeah, for the right person, could be very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. I'm just thinking I got one of my favorite movies, some T-shirts for my birthday, real silly shirts that my wife makes fun of and the teenagers in my life think makes me really cool kind of stuff, you know? I'm thinking, if I'd bought a bunch of those, let's say at Walmart, cleared the shelf of them, create a Pinterest page. The theme is that movie. People are interested in that movie. It's got clips from the scenes from the movie and different, scenery and interesting factoids or whatever. And oh, by the way, the T-shirts and some of the merch associated with that movie. Send people to Amazon through my affiliate link. And this isn't complicated. You don't have to have an Amazon business to do this stuff. This is basically getting back to, this reminds me a lot of the early days of e-commerce where it was all about traffic. Everyone's like, well,
Mm.
how are you going to drive traffic? You got to drive traffic.
Hmm.
What's your traffic techniques? And I remember the first guy in the e-commerce education circles who had $1 million day. He sold a course on how to drive traffic. And it was like 500 different ways to drive traffic. And we've kind of gotten away from that. And typically I teach people, hey, go to where the traffic already is. Don't try to drive traffic. But this is my one exception, probably literally in the past 7 years where I've talked about driving traffic because I've seen what you're doing. You're on our team. You're a trusted leader who's getting results. You've created content with us. And you keep saying, hey, Jim, we got to talk about Pinterest. This is insane. I can put up some posts, put up some pins on Pinterest, create a theme. And now I'm sending steady targeted traffic for free. It's organic. It doesn't cost
Yeah.
anything. There's no pay per
Hmm.
click. Man, I hope my $30 a day or my $100 a day budget doesn't break me before this thing works. It's none of that. It's free. It's spare time kind of stuff and throw some things up. There's some intentionality behind it. But
Hmm.
I really want to encourage people to check out the Pinterest Traffic Bootcamp at provenamazoncourse.com/Pinterest. Jump over there, check it out. That's where you get the details. And you're going to spend some time getting in Teresa's head on this topic. And it's another income stream. Because one of the things I'm sitting here thinking
Mm.
in real time as we're talking this through, Teresa, is we've taught the PPP model, which is
Hmm.
proven product partnering, helping our students go out and approach any brand confidently and say, hey, I can get you onto Amazon and help you make sales and protect your brand. And I'm a commission only sales rep,
Hmm.
right? That's a wide open opportunity for any of us. Now you can also say, hey, I can drive traffic too. I could use Teresa's strategies on
Yep.
Pinterest and start driving some serious traffic to your listings through some
Hmm.
creative Pinterest. Yeah, right. So this is a whole new wide open horizon. I love when we kind of bring a new income stream strategy to the table that we know is working. So awesome. Well, what else do you have for
Yeah.
us? What else do you want to share, Teresa, before we start to wrap this one up?
I would say this is really if you want to develop some more skill sets. That's really what it is. Because at the end of the day, that is your most valuable asset that you could ever have. The more that you develop skill sets and refine them, the more that people are highly interested in it. And they will come to you and say, can you help my brand over here? Yeah. So you no longer have to go out to people. They will start coming to you
True.
through referrals. They start hearing like, oh, that's interesting. You know how to do this. You know how to do that. And I think we need that help. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that aspect of it, but you can also use it to help yourself and your own brand. So this skill set, once you develop it, use this to the full extent that you ever want to use. That's really what it is. And it's not about just selling a product or some people think that I just need to put a product on Amazon and it's just going to automatically sell like magic.
Nope.
It's not really what happens. There's a lot that
Yeah.
goes into it on the back end. And once you really understand that, now you can have some new strategies that are advanced strategies. And now you have more control over your income as well, because there's things that you can always do. Okay. So that's what I would say is that this is really for people who are really interested in trying to add in one small skill set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is what's going to help you.
Talk us through the boot camp. It is, people can go to the website, provenamazoncourse.com/Pinterest and
Mhm.
read up on it. But just in your own words, if we were on an elevator and you had 30, 45 seconds, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about that boot camp you're doing. Who's that for? Is that for me? And what am I going to learn? Like if you just sum it up as best, and it's probably, the stuff we've talked about on this show, obviously today, but hit me with a summary if you can.
Yeah. So the main focus of this is to drive traffic, and that is it. Driving traffic there, because if it's to your Amazon page, you don't have to worry. Amazon takes care of the rest for you. It's already optimized for you. All you're doing is bringing some people in who are interested. So that's our main focus, is going out and finding those people who are interested in what you have to offer. So I'm going to help you get your account set up. If you're not sure how to get your business account set up, help you to do that, get everything in place. And then setting up your Pinterest boards. This can get really confusing for people because it's this hierarchy of organizing your boards and keywording them that is really important. And I've got it refined down so well now through a hierarchy that it doesn't take much effort like it did in the past. So that's what you're going to learn, which is a bit of a shortcut for you. And then the keyword research, because at the end of the day, that is the driving force to not just get people over to the product, but highly interested people who are ready to buy right now, even. And you could do that through keywords. So there's different levels of keyword targeting to get them into the top, middle, and bottom funnel. But you can focus mainly on getting the people there, getting them there, and then the rest will take care of itself. But getting people who are intentionally searching and looking for exactly what you have to offer. And those are the type of people that actually spend more money. So when I talking with this one of the brands, their average dollar amount from Pinterest started at around $35 was the average order dollar amount. Now they're up to $65 for their average order, which is perfect. That's what I'm looking for, is what can we do to get them to spend more money, to get them to maybe buy two things instead of one. And it's building that trust and all of that has to happen. So that's what we're doing, is refining those keywords.
On top of that, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. I mean, Pinterest is kind of cool. I spent a little time there. It's predominantly female, but I have a few things out there on my board, and cool basketball courts. I'm a basketball geek, so indoor basketball courts. People have really nice indoor gyms. I got a wall of those and some waterfalls I want to see someday. And it's just a cool place as you come across neat things on the internet. That's the idea. Some people might not even know what the idea behind Pinterest is. It's like as you come across interesting things visually, like, hey, I want to hang on to that. I might want to buy one of those someday, or that's a good gift idea for my spouse someday, or whatever. Like I want my kids to read these books when they're teenagers, and you start collecting all those books on, it could be anything, just collections, right?
They save things to act on either now or later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's
That's what it is.
Lists and just, a motivation board, whatever. So you can have some fun hanging out there, but you can also use it as a very powerful marketing tool to drive very targeted traffic to whatever you want, including your Amazon business, right?
Right.
So that's the skill set. And of all the people out there talking about Pinterest, you're the most qualified for sure in our community and quite possibly in the world from my vantage point.
No, not in the world.
Let's boost your Amazon
Let's not
business.
go there.
Well, our community. And one of the things I like, Teresa, is you're familiar with, how we do things around here. We don't just push people into some $20,000, hey, you're going to go launch your own private label and be famous in 6 months.
Yeah.
No, we're very realistic.
Right.
We're very grounded. We're going to use this to sell some of the stuff you're already selling. Maybe it's just stuff you have on eBay. Let's start small.
Yep.
And this could grow into something very significant. So we're not here selling a $6,000 course. Saying, hey, let's add a skill set and add some more money to your pocket without spending any significant money. That's the opportunity.
Exactly.
So that's why I appreciate your approach.
Yeah, you don't need a big marketing budget. You're going to spend zero. I'm going to show you how to get started doing all of this for absolutely free. You don't even need to buy one tool.
That's right.
Not even one. That's how I like to start everything.
That's how we do things around here. Very little investment, very little technical skills needed to do what we're going to show you. That's the opportunities we bring. For 20 years, that's what we've been doing. Well, Teresa, this was great hanging out with you. It's always good to see you. And I really appreciate the work you're doing. I'm excited we finally got this project pulled together because we've been working on it for a while. But I think people who jump into this are really going to benefit from it. It's incredible content. And I know you're a great teacher. You've got a teacher's heart. And I can't wait for people to get to know you a little bit better from our community who jump into this. So I think we'll wrap it up there. And Teresa, thank you for being the guest today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And to all the listeners, the business building warriors out there, we're praying for you. We're in your corner. We are just so glad that you gave us a little bit of your time today. We're committed to your success. That's why we do these shows. That's why we bring you the content we bring you, is we want you to succeed. We want you to use the internet creatively to launch and grow multiple income streams. That's what this is all about. And Teresa is one of our great leaders who helps people do that all day around here. So thank you for hanging out with us. And like always, we'll have another show for you again real soon. I'll talk to you then.